Well, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. I'm here with my new friend, Alan. We met, 3 minutes ago, Alan? We met three
Yeah, 3
minutes
minutes.
ago, a couple days ago over on Discord. Alan is part of the Grand Archive team over on Kickstarter. They have a new Kickstarter game launching. Before you go anywhere, if you're not interested in new games, I do think it's always fun to hear people's experience getting involved in TCGs. I think it's fun to hear new ideas with new TCGs too. I think it's super fun to look at that. And Alan, I really like some of the stuff you guys have lined up, and I want to talk to you about your vision for you guys got NFTs included. You guys have you call it a Western based model. You've got two different decks that play in the same time in your game. It looks pretty cool. And then you also are thinking about digital as well. So there's a lot of things to comprehend and a lot of things to digest, and not just for people who are interested in Grand Archive, also for TCG fans in general. So Alan, welcome to the kitchen table. I guess maybe I should start out my videos and start saying that.
Hey, that sounds really great, actually. Yeah, that's a good tagline. Yeah. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to come on here and talk to everybody and, get you guys more knowledge on the game. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Well, I like to start off just getting to know people. So tell me how you got involved in trading card games. And then we can talk about your company and that stuff later.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of my team members actually we met because we started to play Magic the Gathering 10 years ago now. It's started off playing Commander, and then there I got into more competitive formats, playing Modern, and then it was just a rabbit hole after that. I was obsessed with anime, and I started touching anime TCGs. I played Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard, White Schwartz. I've even been looking at the new White Cross game. And I've just been obsessed with TCGs for as long as I could really remember. And my partners and I would just always been like, hey, it would be really cool if we made our own TCG one day. And then with this kind of new era of TCGs that we've been entering, we had the idea okay, let's finally try to make our idea a reality. So that's kind of ended up that's how we got to where we are today, pretty much.
I would say that idea is becoming a reality. You guys have 1,058 backers on Kickstarter already, and 38 days ago, with over $800,000 raised. Congratulations on
thank you.
Amazing campaign. We'll get into that in a little bit too, but so tell me what are TCGs to you and your friends and your team? What is the goal? Why create a TCG? What's the deeper reasoning behind that?
To be honest, it's more of why would there not be a reason for us to? It's just something that we love. I think the main reason why it's just because we love TCG so much, and it's a great way just to hang out with your friends in a day where you play a lot of video games online, and you can get a lot of games in whatever matches in quickly without really having to meet face to face and be with another person. It's kind of a fantastic way to just go hang out with some friends. I think that's the part that we wanted to go back to, and that we wanted to share with other people too. So we hope that with the TCG that we create, and that people will meet up in person and share their interest in anime and meet other people who love anime and also love playing card games. And that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. Cool. I am not an anime fan. I didn't tell you this before we met. Hey,
no worries.
I can't, other than Pokemon, which I love, and I guess Pokemon it's an animated show. I guess technically it's anime. Is that true?
You could ask 10 different anime fans. They probably all give you a different answer. I think anime is just Eastern style animation, and that's all it is. It's just something that you love. I think it's more the storytelling, the art style that differs from Western style cartoons, right? It's just, that's what I believe anime is. Some people could call Pokemon a cartoon. Some people will call Pokemon an anime. It's just it doesn't matter. As long as you love it, then it's whatever.
Yeah. I never got into that culture. It's just not anything that got into. And honestly, when I first looked at the game, I was like, oh, it's an anime thing. And there's another game that I've recently playing. Somebody sent me some stuff, and the anime stuff just doesn't do it for me. But then when I looked into the way that you guys have, it's not just a clone of another TCG with an anime artwork thrown on top of it. That's not what it is. It actually has some depth and also like your art style. We'll get into that a little bit too, but your art style isn't like when I think of anime, I think of the the crazy inappropriate inappropriate, so vague term,
the lewdness,
and the lewdness, and that's just not my thing. And I didn't catch, I mean, I haven't seen all your guys' cards or anything like that. I didn't catch that. Is that a goal of your guys's to bring a more, I would say, kid friendly drive to it? Or not that this is a kids game, but like
right yeah, we are definitely not going for like that like NSFW like type like border like pushing the all the boundaries that we can. We wanted something like let's say like Flesh and Blood, right? Like I see you got some Flesh and Blood stuff in the background. It's like we wanted that like
just a little
high fantasy, just elegance and nothing like like panties showing, boobies out there everywhere. It's just not the style that we were going for. We get that that's part of it. That's a small part of like anime like culture, but it's just something that we didn't want for the game. I think we wanted to be more for like you'd be okay showing like maybe your 5 or 10 year olds this game and not being like they should not be looking at these kinds of cards.
And as a non-anime fan, I like that a lot. Like that to me, like that's something that's like, because the artwork's cool, and we'll I guess we'll just hop over to it now. Like the artwork looks really cool, and I think that like sometimes I look at anime cards like Y Shorts and whatever. I'm just like, okay, it's just not for me though, because it's like such a culture divide for me, because I'm just not in that anime culture. So it's pretty cool. Like I really appreciate that. I think it's really cool.
Hey, thank you. Glad you like it. Yeah, we basically just want to capture just like like I said earlier, like the elegance and just the taste. I guess the tastefulness is like everything within like a tasteful like manner. Nothing like too overboard or anything like that.
Cool.
We're trying to sell a fantasy, not so much just like the girls on the cards or the men on the cards.
Right. Well, tell me before we get into the game. Sorry, because I think sometimes in interviews like this we get too into like, what is the game like? What does the artwork look like? What is the gameplay mechanics? I think more important than that is the team behind a game. So tell me what you, Alan, and your team bring, and what your visions are. Where are you guys from? Kind of what? Tell me guys how you said you're like your friends. You're all playing Magic. What brings you to feel like, hey, we can successfully create this thing?
Yeah. So I'll tell you how many people we have on the team right now. So we had 4, we're actually up to 5 now, and then we're always thinking about scaling and getting bigger, but we're also just very careful with who we want to work with. While we are friends, not all friends make great business partners. And then we have a lot of people that are interested, but yeah, I'll tell you about the main team right now. So it's me and my friend Hung, he's on the website. Our art director, which was on our Kickstarter pages, Yu Liu, and also our friend Sunny. He's like the game designer as well. And then the person that we just added, you guys might have seen him on our Discord. He goes by NodGG, or his name is Chris. And he's also working as a game designer. Cool. And like just a little bit about our background. Like we're all pretty young, relatively young, under our 30s, and
are you calling 30 old?
Well, I've had people call me really young.
I'm turning 30 soon. I'm a little self-conscious.
I think you're as young as you could ever want to be. If you feel like you're young, then you're young. But some people were questioning us, like, dude, these guys are, like I know my cousins are like, their age, and like they're like this young. I'm like, whatever. I mean, I don't really care. But what was it? I just completely lost my train of thought. What was I saying about?
You're telling me what your guys' backgrounds are, and
oh right, yeah.
What you bring to the table.
Yeah, we're a bunch of big nerds. A lot of us are just like either computer engineering, computer science backgrounds. I myself personally, I studied computer science, and then like just some game design classes, and my friend Yu, he's the art director, and he went to art school with us, or he went to art school at the University of Houston, and then I studied computer science there. Kind of how we all like came to meet. And then we don't really believe that education or anything makes us more qualified to do the business over others, but we feel like we have like a really strong like quality, like eye for quality, and we think that we created like something that a lot of other people might like, and that we take a lot of effort to make sure that our cards are where we want them to be. So that's a little bit about us. I don't know if I covered that super well, but yeah.
So this is an entrepreneurship, right? Like you guys are some, I guess you can call yourself young if you're under 30, young entrepreneurs looking to do this. This is your thing, right? Like you're looking to create a company that's going to bring out, and I love that. Like I love that right now we're seeing like a push in our world where entrepreneurship and creating your own thing and creating your own brand is becoming something that so many people under 30 under 40 are trying to do right now. And I love that that's entering the TCG world. And I think you're right, like we are in this like TCG renaissance or whatever, where like there's just so much success right now, and in 10 years I'm not sure what will be success, but I guess that's a good transition. Like what makes your game successful? This is not just one Kickstarter, right? Like is your goal to have one Kickstarter and then be done, or what's your vision for the future? How are you, like in TCGs, I think one of the things people say all the time is like nothing is going to be successful long term, and I don't believe that. Like I think if people have passion, they can make their stuff successful. And so what are you guys doing to be successful more than just past this very successful campaign?
Yeah So I mean, honestly, like I think there's like a realistic window for like TCGs to either make it or break it, which is about 3 years. And then how we're planning to go above and beyond like the 3-year mark, I think it's like a lot of the times, I think a lot of the new TCGs kind of just appeal to the crowd at the moment and then don't really make decisions that would be beneficial for them long term. And I think that we've always been planning ahead in terms of like we like we were saying, like this is a new era. Yeah, we're young, like new entrepreneurs. This is a startup. This is something that we wanted to try doing while we have the time, while we're not committed to like anything super serious in life yet, and then that we can make this happen.
Like kids.
So, like kids, yeah. It's mainly what I was getting at. Yeah, we're all.
Are you saying you shouldn't start a job? Shouldn't start your own company if you have kids and you're?
I would say it's easier.
That's what I did this year.
Yeah, I would say that it is easier to do it whenever you don't have that responsibility. Yeah,
sure. You have the time.
So we think that with the decision that we've been making, that we can last. We'll go the distance and go over that 3-year mark. Mainly with just we're always never thinking like. Oh, sorry, I just got a random Discord message and it threw me off my game there for a second.
All good.
We're always thinking of how we can do better and how things will look like in 3 to 5 years, instead of thinking like, how can we get more money today? That's I think that some people have been questioning like why we've been doing the dynamic print run. It's also been like people are worried that it's too much. People were worried that it's more than these other Kickstarters did, and I think it's in the long term it was the correct decision. And then I think that within the next 3 to 5 years that you'll see that it was, and that we hope that it was.
Let me go to your Kickstarter right now to give some people some context, because I think the way that you have things set up is really cool. One of the things that you said is, and I don't want to harp too much on NFTs, but one of the things you said is that you're doing things to future proof your product, right? So in 10 years you're already thinking that way, and you guys have NFTs, and you even say that like where Grand Archive is a project that boasts extreme collectibility. Where do you say it? We were interested in developing a digital version of Grand Archive that utilizes them in the future, and like you're thinking through that thing. I think that's really cool. We can talk about NFTs in a little bit, but
sure,
but then
I'd love to.
I also thought that something's really cool is like you put 62% of your Kickstarter is going into the artwork. And I think that's huge, because like I think one of the things I'm learning the more that I get involved in these games is how important it is to to own the artwork, how important it is to respect the artist, how important it is that that your artwork becomes so iconic in these games, that long-term like investing in that is really big.
Right.
I think that's super cool. And then I like your emphasis on community on your Kickstarter too, because I think as we get into the world of digital card games, and not just digital but also in person, but also like this mixture that we have where like there's like I run a Flesh and Blood event every week that's 30 people that get together online to play physical card games online. And as we get into that idea of building a community around both in person and online is super cool. And then in the last thing I thought that's always super interesting to me, I guess you can't see it on my screen, but you guys had a retailer pledge and to invest in the local game stores by allowing them to get in on your Kickstarter at a different rate, and then the ability to support the local game stores so that they can have product to push to their communities, I think is huge. And that's the type of stuff that I think is long term that you guys are already doing, that I think is really cool.
Yeah, we basically, like I said, we were making those decisions with the idea that this is not going to be something that just ends within 3 years. Like, we don't want that to happen. I think one of the conversations that I had with my teammate Sunny is that I want this project to be something that's not just for me to see within my time. I want my grandchildren to see it whenever I have grandchildren, or my kids to see it and grow up and be like, yeah, I played these games, like Dad made this company, stuff like that. It's like, I don't want it just to be for the next 5 or 10 years. I want it to be generational. I want, just like how some of us grew up with Magic. We've been growing up with Magic for like such a long time, right?
Right.
So it's like it's a similar case. Yeah.
All right, talk to me a little bit about the game. On your video here, you highlight that it is a. We'll talk about the collectibility and stuff, but I want to talk about the gameplay first. You talk about waiting for a Western game design. So what does that mean, and how does that play out in your gameplay?
For sure. So I mean, the main problem was, like, we love anime, and as much as we love anime TCGs, it's like some of the things just get, like, I guess just being so used to Magic and then like Flesh and Blood and like things like that, we just liked the clarity of it. Like, there's no hitting for 10,000. Like, I don't need to pull out my calculator to keep track of everyone's life totals,
Yes.
right? And it's like some of the text on those like cards are just extremely hard to read. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh's gone through so many different erratas, and how to change like their problem solving text. It's like I would say it's very difficult for a new player or just players in general to figure out rulings. And that's kind of the thing that we were going with like when we mean Western game design. We're moving back to like the good old like the Magic sort of style, where it's like, getting hit by a 6/7 like Tarmogoyf is pretty brutal. 6 damage, that's brutal when you got 20 life, right? And then making like downscaling things to a reasonable amount, and then just in making sure that the art is high quality and the card itself, the UI and everything, it's clear. That's kind of what we wanted. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I missed anything in that question, but
so I think that's great. Yeah, I get what you mean. How does, like, is there resources? Is it how do you get, so you've got the memory. Tell me a little bit, what is the memory?
Yeah, so the idea is that you're trying to level up your champion over the course of the game, right? And to level up, it requires like experience. So that's why we call it the memory zone, because basically your library, it's like a buildup of skills that you're able to use. And so whenever you're drawing cards and playing with them, the ability to, like, every card that you draw is a spell, and your entire hand is a resource, similar to Flesh and Blood, right? Like where you're pitching cards to pay for your abilities or attacks. And I think what our game kind of differs from that is that we have that leveling system, and also like the ability to build a board. So if you wanted to summon an ally, where you would pay 2 cards and you would get like some sort of I forget the term in Magic back then, was what they call it. It's like a virtual virtual card advantage, pretty much. It's like you now have a presence on board differing from Flesh and Blood, where you're more like planning out your attacks in a way. the idea of using your cards from your hand. So say if I wanted to cast like a fireball spell, and the fireball spell costed like 2 mana, or you know, in terms relating to Magic, it's like cost 2 mana. You would place down 2 cards from your hand, then you would be able to cast the fireball spell.
Gotcha. So your cards interact as the resource points to play your other
Yeah,
cards, and you're
it kind of
utilizing hand.
turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
It kind of turns those like bricks that you could draw into something that's more usable in the future, right? So like you wouldn't. It always feels bad in Magic when you draw a land.
Yeah.
And then in Flesh and Blood, I love their system where it's like you start out super strong, you're playing all your reds, and then you're slowly moving on to your yellows, and then you're stuck with your blues, and you're trying to just do 2 or 3 damage with your blue cards that you have remaining, right? So
you get weaker as the game goes on. Is that the same as in Grand Archive?
It's going to be more leveled out in between, because you're not really casting 3 different spells with like 3 different like I guess like stamina levels. It's more of like, how are you going to be able to manage your hand and maintain advantage over your opponent, and how are you going to utilize your allies, because you're building a board and stuff too.
Gotcha.
So gameplay should be more balanced throughout.
That is one of the things I like about Magic the Gathering, is the board state and the ability to like build up stuff over time. I think that makes it a little bit more fun for multiplayer too. That's one of the things I think is super fun in Commander. You can like kind of see these big turns about to happen as people build up board states and that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You guys have 7 classes: Assassin, Magician, Warrior, Ranger, Tamer, Guardian, and Cleric. Anything, how do the classes differ? I guess you don't have to walk me through every class, but like what's the way? Is that just like a hero ability? Is there something that each class kind of gravitates towards? What's the difference on the classes?
Yeah, so the idea with the classes, it's more of like they're giving us like, we wanted heroes, right? And we need some sort of design space to work in. So you could see something really unique like with each different classes. I'll say right now with like the Lorraine that you've seen like on the Kickstarter and that we've been sharing on our social media and stuff, she cares a lot about weapons being in the graveyard or banished, and it's like that's part of like the warrior archetype. Weapons matter. And then we haven't showed too much on Rai yet, but Rai is our magician class, and he involves more of like getting these sort of counters, setting up like card advantage, and having like using like magic over your brain over like your weapons and stuff, right? So you can typically see like kind of expect like what we plan, like a ninja's not going to do something unconventional that like another ninja would do, but it's more like in the case of like an assassin, right? So if we do a ninja class, it would go under that assassin category. But if we do like maybe like a high risk, high reward, like sort of rogue, it would also kind of go under that assassin class. That's the kind of the idea behind it. Yeah.
So the idea is that this is 7 classes that are going to remain the same, or do you guys have an idea of adding classes in the future, or are these like the color pie in Magic where it's like, as much as everybody talks about having a purple color at some point, there will never be a purple color?
We're pretty much like that. This is like the 7 classes.
That's cool.
And yeah, we're not gonna plan on adding more, but like I wouldn't expect for you guys to think that each magician will do the same thing. It's gonna be like it's a general term for like what we could explore with, right? So like different styles of magicians, or say like shamans or something, right? That would probably go under like the magician class or stuff like that. So
cool. That's super cool. I like Tamer. Can you tell me a little bit about Tamer? I'm just curious for myself. You like get to summon is that like summoning beasts? I mean, Tamer doesn't, I don't know. To me, Tamer isn't as much summoning as it like controlling animals, right? Like, so tell me a little bit about Tamer.
Yeah, so actually a lot of people have been really interested about Tamer, and I'm actually kind of glad to talk about it. I think the class itself and design is really cool.
Can I tell you the honest reason why I'm interested in it?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Did you ever play RuneScape?
I did play RuneScape. I played a lot of RuneScape.
Do you remember the what was they added like it was like one of the first skills they added was not taming, but do you remember? I can't even think about it. They added
I know what you're talking about, and I remember being very young and this was paywalled, and you couldn't access it. Oh man, I can't remember.
I spent so much time whatever that skill is called.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I spent so much time doing that, and that's
was
what
it hunting? Was it
hunting? You're right. It was hunting.
Hunting. Yeah.
I spent so much time. You had to like set all these traps and then like go back and check your traps. And it's like if I would have spent like the time learning actual hunting as I spent practicing hunting on RuneScape, I would like be able to feed my family today. But anyway, sorry. That's why I want to actually. That's what gravitated me towards it.
Yeah.
Hold on, so I'm gonna shut my door. My dogs are working.
No worries.
That's just gonna be live in this episode in the middle of it. Everyone can comment and make fun of me.
Yeah, the dogs. You know, it makes us look real, right? Like things are happening in real time.
We're all working from our homes now. None of us have jobs. We all just work
I mean, I'm still pretty young. I still live with my parents, so if they come, they don't ever knock, so they just come in, barge in. So you might see them sometime.
There you go.
The Tamer class. Yeah. So Tamer, the idea right now behind it is that yes, it's like you're taming these beasts, and we have a mechanic that we haven't revealed yet, but it's crucial to the Tamer class, and it's going to be more of the character that builds the board state, builds the big allies, and makes makes creatures making creatures matter a lot. And we'll share more of that. Like I think hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll have like some more Tamer stuff come out. But yeah. The Tamer class has been something that I've been excited for personally, and then our friend, we did an interview from the very beginning before we actually started the Kickstarter campaign, was also very interested in the Tamer class. That's cool. Yeah,
I like it. That seems like not that it just seems like the most unique one. You've got a lot of like you said you wanted to be a in the kind of cult like D&D style culture, so it makes sense that everyone just copies off of 1977 Dungeons and Dragons anyway. So but that one seems like the most unique for sure in terms of your abilities and stuff. That's super cool.
Tamer class was something that I was pretty excited for whenever we brought up the initial inception. I was like, yes, let's do this.
Super cool. All right, talk to me about collectibility. It seems like a huge point in your Kickstarter. I specifically waited until 30 minutes in because I hate it when people focus on these new games and they say that they're only collectible. And I wanted to show people the amount of energy and time that you guys have put into creating, classes and good artwork and all that stuff. But I think, collectibility is also a huge part of TCGs. It's probably my personal favorite part of TCGs, but there's so much negativity towards that on the internet. I wanted to do gameplay first. So talk to me about your first off, I want to talk about the scaling print run, because that's something I thought was super interesting. I want to not that you care, but I want to just say I love it. Like I want to congratulate you on coming up with an idea. Let me find that where that was on your Kickstarter. But I don't love these games that are limiting their Kickstarter to so few things. Here's your dynamic run, because in my opinion, like you are the game creator, and I want to support you. I don't want to support like these whales that come in and buy out all of your Kickstarter stock and they have 1,000 boxes and like the average Joe can't get. Like I love the idea that you guys did this dynamic print run, because that in my mind allows you guys to get what you need to create a really great game, which is the heart of Kickstarter. I feel like sometimes in this TCG worlds we've lost sight of what the heart of Kickstarter is. It's not to make us as a consumer rich tomorrow. It's to work together, crowdsource, and to actually believe in a product. And so tell me about this dynamic print run. You've got a minimum of 2,000 and a maximum of 20,000. How does that scale, and what went into the idea in that concept?
Right. Yeah. So I touched on this a little bit earlier, and it was the idea that like just supply will meet demand. And if demand goes up later than all the people that were supporting us in the beginning, supply will just because once Kickstarter ends, whatever number that number is at, that's it. Mm-hmm. So if people were worried about maybe us hitting the 20,000, well, if we actually did incredibly and we just went popped off and were really popular and went and hit that cap, then that would be absolutely insane. And in the future, 20,000, from all the advice that we've gotten too, it's just like 20,000 in the long run is not that big. It's actually really small. And then the point of the Kickstarter was to get crowd, like we view Kickstarter as not a way for us to really sell like a bunch of product. It's more of like for people that believed in a project and to get things off the ground.
Well, it's free advertising. right?
And also, yeah, it's also free
Well,
advertising.
it's the opposite of free advertising. It's paid advertising. It's the beauty.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of the internet in 2021 is that like I think Kickstarter is the best way to market a TCG right now.
I think it just made sense to all of us that while it one helped us get off the ground, two, gets eyes on us, three, we get people talking about it. And you know what? Even if there are negative things about us, I'm just more happy that people are talking and that we're always open to the conversation, right? I'm happy to talk to anybody who either has a disinterest in TCGs, don't like TCGs, who love TCGs. Like it's part of the thing that makes this community beautiful. I think it's like to be able to meet with different people and have differing opinions. It's just that's what makes it great. But yeah.
So how does that work? You just have a maximum number on the site, and if you pre-order that many, that's what you get, or it's scaled to the number of backers. How does the actual dynamic of it work?
Yeah, so you can add on boxes and say like right now, whatever number that we're at. I haven't actually looked today, but I think the last time I looked, maybe we were at about like 9,000 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then that number will make as updated and as frequently as we can. And whatever number that ends on, like say like even if you're at the grand champion level and you add on however many boxes, that number will, the number of boxes you add on go to that count. So it's like once Kickstarter ends, whatever that number is at, it stops there, and then there's no more first edition after that. And so
no more Kickstarter edition, right?
No more first edition. Like
the Kickstarter and first edition are the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that's like what was I saying? Oh, and Kickstarter also just naturally has a $10,000 limit of like how much you can back per backer. So like nobody can buy out all the boxes if they have the funds like capable to do so. It's like, we're talking just like. I think 10,000 boxes, you can't even reach the cap that we had, and that we had set, which is about 200 boxes for add-ons. So that's like it's not possible. I don't believe.
Well, I just think it's cool that it's been what 3 or 4 or 5 days since you guys launched. I can't remember.
We launched on the 16th, and it's almost been about a week now.
Yeah. There's 38 days to go, and if someone's watching this video today, they can still go back and get access to it. They haven't missed out because they weren't there for the first 10 seconds of the Kickstarter, and I like that. All right, then, but more importantly, talk to me about what's in these packs, because you guys have these collector rares, the pinnacle of collectible cards for Grand Archive, exclusive extended art frames, looks really cool, and then artist signed cards. Are those actual signed cards, or is that like is it like the gold autograph, like the fake gold autograph?
So I'll tell you that each artist like that does an artwork for us, and we have a collector's rare for, they sign that card like on Photoshop. I'm assuming that's what they use. Clip Studio, whatever. They sign that card probably like 1,000 times, or how many times that we need them to do it, and each one will be different from the other one. And then personally, I think the team just likes, like, I know people have asked about hand signing and stuff, but I think personally the team just likes how Weiss Schwartz has it, where it's like the stamped like gold finish, and then we've also made sure that those are pretty quality, and
but they're unique still, right? Like
they are unique.
So like they're numbered out of 100, and the autograph. So like this one is Lorraine, and is it Hori, Hori?
Yes.
So they have signed it 100 different times digitally, essentially, and then 100 different signatures are printed. That's cool. I mean, that seems like the most efficient way to do it, instead of like sending cards and they have to sign them and send them back, and it's just all this mess.
The idea was also that makes it easier for us to say like implement a database later on, where we hope to have this. It's actually like not anything that we're keeping secret. It's a database where you can go and view your cards, and you can also see on your collector rare like which signature is tied to like which collector rare.
That's cool.
Yeah, so this is like a little extra layer of like collectibility to that.
Yeah, and I love giving attention to the artists. I think that's such a good long play to invest in your artists and invest in their ideas and invest in their brand, even like the artist's brand. I think that's really cool. So 1 in 36, 360 packs. Is that 1 in 10 boxes? You have 36 pack boxes or 24 pack boxes?
They're 24 pack boxes. Yeah.
All right. I can't do that math in my head. Hold on. Let me get a calculator.
Yeah, I mean,
36, 360 divided by 24. 1 in every 15 boxes. All right. That's pretty cool. Gets one of those. That's crazy. That's pretty rare.
Yeah. It's, we kind of wanted to go back to like those days of like, you know, nowadays you get a foil in every pack,
and I
foil
love
in every
this.
box.
I love this.
Yeah.
1 in every 8 packs is a foil. Like I love it. Like I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, that's cool. So are all your foils? Let me pop up. That's really cool. I just saw the video of the foils. Let me go back to that for people. Is that what all the foils look like on the first? Where is it? Come on, give it to me. This was earlier. Is that what all the foils look like that are on the quick start guide?
So the ones, I'm not sure where you're sharing this. I'm not sure.
Just on the. I'm not sharing it with you. I'm looking at it myself.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the ones that are on the quick start guide, I mean, those are like a 3D mock-up. Let me see. I have.
Sorry, not the quick start guide. It was on the beginning, the Kickstarter thing.
Oh yeah. This is what a foil could look like. So this is one of the sample cards that we've done, and then I don't know if my camera doesn't really do it justice.
Yeah, that gets it. Yeah. So the character is not in foil and the background is, right?
Yeah. We kind of we're playing around with it. It gives it like that like semi 3D effect, and then it's it makes it look pretty sweet.
That's sweet. That's super cool. It works. So those are 1 in every 8 packs.
Like back in the old days when you didn't get a foil in every pack. Like I think I don't know. Some people have been happy with this. Some people haven't. But I think it's just makes things more fun. You know, like it used to be fun to pull a foil, and it's like if you think about Flesh and Blood. I mean, you pull a cold foil. That's like what you're like, I got the cold foil. Like that's the exciting part. Who cares about your bulk foils?
Well, and when you do a foil in every pack, it dilutes the value of a foil too, and then it just makes it not as fun. Do you guys have different rarities? You have rare foils, super rare foils, and collector rares. So do you have commons and?
Oh yeah, we have commons, uncommons and rares, and then it's pretty standard for that. So you can expect, nothing too different with that.
What is a super rare?
A super rare, it's the equivalent of the super rare in Flesh and Blood. It's like the same thing. It's like it's like the in between super like rare and mythic. And if there was one in Magic, so it's like
Okay, so you have commons, rares, commons, uncommons, rares, super rares, and
mythics.
Mythics. Okay.
Or what? Well, I'm saying this in like a broad sense, and then it's like those aren't the actual terms we'll probably settle on. Because I think for legal purposes, but for my reference, like we always reference Magic whenever we're working, right? So I'm doing the same here.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Those aren't the official terms. We'll change that up in the future.
Gotcha. I'll keep the lawyers off your back. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, thank you. People. Yeah.
All right. Well, now that we're 39 minutes in, let's talk about NFTs so that people don't get mad at me early in the video. Talk to me a little bit for you. What does NFTs mean in the future of TCGs? Not necessarily with Grand Archive, but like why is that even a conversation in your project? And let me start this off. You guys are not making any money off of the initial NFT run, which
absolutely
I think
not.
That's an important thing to start off. Like this is not like a rug pull or something like that. You guys you have cards in your pack that you then scan. That is it randomly inserted?
It's so just like how we plan it is just like the Pokemon code cards. How those work, you just scan those suckers in, you get them on your account, you get a booster pack, and you redeem that booster pack online. And the idea is that not every pack will have a code card. This is actually just to save time, so you don't have to scan each and every single one of we get a whole box, of code cards. You don't have to do that. You get like a giant like booster pack that you can open like on the app that we plan like for y'all to have. The idea behind NFTs was not like me personally, I'm not a big fan of NFTs that are currently being used. It's a new technology which is really exciting, and I think there's bad things happening around it. I think there's good things happening around it, and we just have to keep our minds open. We don't want to do anything like in a predatory sense where we want to make money off of the NFTs. We are simply just the people who mint it and give it to y'all, and then players and all the people will have control over the secondary market for that. It's more of like just so you can have this. We were treating it kind of like a game token, like right, like you're getting a digital card that in the future we hope that we can get. When NFT technology is more advanced, and then you see more video games being developed around it. It's we're gonna get a head start on that. I think utilizing that technology early and supporting the people that were there with us early. You could have something really rare and really cool.
It's a way of futurizing your game now, so that when you do launch this product, which I don't know if you have a date on that or not, but I'm assuming it's the future as we learn this technology, that collectors currently are protected for that then. So what technology is this? What blockchain is it on? It's under Engine Beam.
Yeah, so Engine Beam is like the technology used to scan the QR code in, and then the technology they're utilizing is JumpNet. And I'm not an expert on it myself. It's supposed to be more eco-friendly and with less like computational like power that you need to do it, which is like another concern that people have arose. And you can read more about it on their website. We are not like officially, I have to say this for legal reasons, but we're not officially like partnered with them or anything. It's the technology that we've been following for a long time as computer scientists and game developers. They've been really trying to push for creating and using NFTs and for video games, and this is like the idea behind that, right? So we hope to have like some sort of app like MTG, more like MTGO, not really like MTGA, and like the Pokemon TCG, like stuff like that. I hope people can see this as like they get their cards and you can use it as part of the training tool, or I view it as a training tool to play in person later. Because
I think that's the best use case for. You see this with Arena too, with Magic Arena, where like anybody can hop on and learn how to play Magic, and then what I wish that they did better in Arena is like giving they do this the opposite. They give people things in the store that promotes Arena, but what they need to do is do things in Arena that promotes going to the local game store.
And it's part of the thing that like it kind of hurts me as like a person who supported Magic for such a long time, that goes to the local game stores, shows up for FNM. It makes me sad a little bit.
Yeah. So I think whenever people see digital, they like Magic has the ability to do it better, and they're not doing that. And I hope some of these new game companies come out and they do it better. Whereas like these NFTs could actually benefit a local game store too. Like a local game store could be opening packs and be able to get something to then help a local person on the internet. There's just things that there's a lot of room to grow here. So this is not in every pack. It's going to be randomly inserted. Any clue on what the odds of getting one of these is? Like if I open up a booster box, am I going to have 6 code cards or
the idea is just so it's more of like that the NFT card it's always going to be in the same place. So people who do like box breaks and stuff like online, you just have to open around that. But like the idea is that you will still get the same amount of like cards that you would by opening a booster box, and then for your online collection. It's just so more of like you don't have to scan in 24 NFT code cards.
Gotcha. So it's more like the worst part. One box per box, basically, is the idea.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. I like it. I think that's a cool way to do it. I think you'll get some secondary market stuff. If the game kicks off and online kicks off, I think that's super cool. And I like that it's part of the first initial box and first initial set, and you're starting out early. Cool. All right. Dawn of Ashes. Is this a block? Is this just a set? Do you have a future amount of blocks in mind, or?
Yeah, I mean, we plan to have like future like sets and blocks, and then each block is gonna kind of tell like a story. Dawn of Ashes is like the beginning of this story. It's the introductory to everything that is Grand Archive, and like who are these heroes, these champions, and then what is your role as the player itself. Right, so the idea that we kind of had behind it is like you as a player you are not the champion, but you're the one supporting them in this different world, like sort of like. So the idea is that actually I don't know. I think might have leaked a little bit too much there, but yeah, it's probably not a big deal. It's like it's basically your agent sent out to help other worlds, and then you as a supporter, you're helping your champions, by doing so. Yeah, so if you've seen the material deck on the Kickstarter video,
we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, the material deck is basically like items that from are another plane, right? That you are sending to help your champion. So like things from the home world is what we call it.
Oh, that's cool. And how often do you get to draw from the material deck? Is that like an effect on cards? Like you play a card and you get to draw from the material deck, or is it?
So in terms of the like phasing and how that works, it's like, so in the case where you need to level up, instead of leveling is actually like quite a big tax on your current resources. So instead of leveling, you can you can choose to just summon an item instead from the material deck, and then that's sort of the idea behind that. Yeah,
that's cool. Do you get to choose the item, or is it random from your deck?
Yeah, it sort of works in all like functionality. It's like an extra deck. You can take a look at it whenever you want. The cards that are in there. It's not really like it's not like your deck where you're drawing a random card off the top. It's something that you always have access to.
Is that kind of like your guys' way to sideboard?
To sideboard, and like also like we've noticed that matches take really long time. So if for organized play, like we're thinking that it's most likely going to end up being like a best of one format, and that your extra deck is kind of like also your side deck. Also, yeah, you kind of have access to like a toolbox already.
Right. So if you're in a matchup with this opponent, you would want to pick this from your side deck or your mat deck. Yeah. Right. That's super cool. Gosh, I like that a lot. That's super cool. All right, there was something else I saw down here on Dawn of Ashes. So this is exclusive to Kickstarter, and maybe you're getting into too many. Maybe I'm asking too many questions, but you're gonna have unlimited. I assume that's gonna go to distribution. Is your idea to get connected with distribution hubs, or are you gonna do another Kickstarter? What's the future after Dawn of Ashes? Is the next set first edition Kickstarter exclusive again, or is the next set LGS exclusive, or through the distribution hubs? What's kind of if you're allowed to talk about that, what's kind of the plans?
Oh yeah, we're not trying to keep any secrets or anything here. So what happens after Kickstarter is that we don't want to return to Kickstarter. Okay. I think it's like Kickstarter, to us, our viewpoint on it was something that it's to help projects get funded and kickstarted, and then hopefully we wouldn't need the same like help that we needed the first set to get everything out. So the plan is to move to distribution and get products to LGSs and have people play through there. So first edition will be available to the general people, like without having to do like a Kickstarter again or anything like that. It's something that you can get from your local game store or whatever we have it later on in the future, like for our distribution networks. And yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. That's awesome. And then how long do you guys want to have between sets? Like what can we expect another set in next year, or how does that work?
So right now, honestly, this is like me speaking as realistically as possible. Being a small company, we just don't have the logistics like all set up yet. Our goal is to have 2 to 3 sets a year, and then 2 supplementary sets in between those. However, like realistically speaking, after the Kickstarter ends, we just wouldn't be in a place where we can do that. So our goal right now is to get Dawn of Ashes out, and then we'll begin working on the second set, and then hopefully we'll have like at least like a 6 month, or we're looking at probably like a 6 month lull period in between the time that you can get that we release what happens after Dawn of Ashes, and then we'll get up to speed as the company grows. That's just me being like realistic and telling the truth about it. The thing like we want with Kickstarter and like we want people to have with our company is that we're people, and then we're not looking at this as something that we can make that would be a lie. We know that we can make money off of this, but we want to be transparent, and we want to be honest with people and realistic with our goals. That's why we also haven't really shared another stretch goal, which is because like we just don't know if we have the capacity to do something that we want the stretch goals to be something people will be happy with, and that something that we can do for sure. I think the most disappointing thing a new company can do is make a false promise, and then other people can be unhappy about that, right? So
I like that. And I've got on the website, if anybody's interested, grandarchive.tcg.com. You guys have the timeline and join us on the journey. So your launch is in November. Q2, you're going to have starter deck kits release and the card database site. Then Q3 is the full set release. Is when does the actual ship happen on Kickstarter stuff?
So yeah, exactly. Like we were hoping for, or at the rate that we're going, and with all honesty, I think the most realistic situation is actually we get it out in April for the starter kits, and then the boxes will come after that, more sometime during the summer. So like a late summer release, and the starter kits will help people, start playing the game. They can, and then depending on what they pull from their Kickstarter packs, they could level up their decks through there, and we'll see some more play. Those things are subject to change, like especially now since we've seen how well the Kickstarter did. We're trying to work on and find the right partners to help us go faster without sacrificing any sort of quality on the product, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say right now that our timeline is pretty accurate. We're fairly confident that like we can deliver all those products like when we say we will.
Awesome. Well, cool. Dude, I think it looks super cool. I got even more excited as we were talking, hearing from you and just your honesty and your desire to be transparent about stuff. I really like that, and I wish you guys all the best. And I hope that we can do some stuff on the channel in the future as we get product in and that kind of stuff.
For sure.
You sent me something. Let me pull it up here.
I did send you something. Yeah.
Is this a little spoiler?
A little spoiler, a little sneak peek at some of the cards we have in work here. You can see how there's it's mainly, you see it's featuring Lorraine there, and then
hold on, they can't see it. They can't see it. Let me okay. It didn't pop in on Discord. Let me hop it in here. Card highlight. I gotta put it over here on Discord. Oh, it didn't go to Discord. There. Here we go. This is our whole conversation the world can see right here. All right. Spirit Blade Ghost Strike. So, all right. Tell us about now that it's here.
I mean, I'll let you guys think about what it does and then let you guys speculate. It's kind of like what I did before with the previous interview. So, it is a warrior card, and I'll tell you that warrior is my current favorite class. So you guys can speculate all about that. But yeah, this is a work in progress, and then we'll share more stuff. Hopefully, you'll see the finished card here pretty soon. Okay,
cool. So Ghost Strike. All right, let me ask. Now I'm like looking at it. What is Crux in the top right?
Yeah. So we've shown the basic 3 elements: fire, water, and wind. And a lot of these like level 3s kind of have like a secondary element to them. So Crux being one of them. It's sort of like an anti-magic sort of like vibe to it, but yeah, that's about all I can really reveal so far.
Okay, cool. Spectral Shift. When you activate this card, you may pay an additional 3. If you do, banish this card as it resolves. Return a Crux element card from your graveyard. Oh, that's pretty cool. A little graveyard manipulation going on already. I like that.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff. I think the warrior class is really sweet. It's personally my favorite so far. But the
I never play
Tamer
warrior.
Class is also Tamer Class will also be pretty sweet.
I never play warrior. Warriors, that's just boring. Are you guys gonna make warrior fun? Because like most games, warrior's like, I hit you with a sword.
I mean, for me that's fun.
I hit you with a sword. I hit you with a sword. Like, I don't know. It's boring to me.
I think we have the warrior at a pretty cool place right now. I think I'm pretty sure you'll probably like the Tamer Class more. Tamer Class.
I'm all in on Tamer Class, baby. That's my main. I don't know if anybody knows this, but that is. Am I the first one that has a main in Grand Archive? My main is.
No, actually, Tamer. I think somebody's already got you beat to that. They were on the Tamer train from the very beginning. They're like, Tamer is the best. Yeah.
Is it not the beginning? I feel like it's the beginning. What am I? Like,
we're in the beginning. You're actually we had our website up, and then people had like basically raided our Discord, and we're like, hey, show us more of your game, like please, we're begging you. And then I did I don't know how you feel about me like mentioning another channel on here, like on your channel. I don't know
all about it, baby.
All right, cool. Yeah, so Scott's from Players Guild. Yeah, he's all about the Tamer Class, and he was one of the first people to interview me. So,
me and Scott can have a little Tamer on Tamer battle.
Yeah, see who plays battle. Okay.
See who tames the animals best. Spoiler alert, it'll be him.
Yeah.
That's good stuff,
All
man.
right.
Well, hey, I appreciate you. Anything else that you want to say to the community or to the people?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for all the amazing support that you guys have given us so far. You push our small like passion projects beyond to like what we could have even imagined, and I really appreciate all the support. It's been amazing. I hope to make everybody proud, and then let's grow together as a community and let's continue going.
Awesome. And people, you can go to Kickstarter.com and search Grand Archive. You got 38 days left to back the project, and we'll see the future. And I appreciate it. Also GrandArchiveTCG.com if you want more information there. And you guys have a Discord server. I'm sure all the links are on those 2 sites, and people can go ask you guys questions and hop in. So Alan, I appreciate you. And the rest of you guys, remember to be kind to the people around you, and we'll see you again next video.